Hello everyone and welcome to my final reaction to this season of Classic Who. It has been a wild ride so far this season, surely. So I am very interested to see how these two episodes are gonna wrap this thing up. Let's go.
Doctor, do you have any further evidence in your defense?
My lady, with all due respect, have we not seen enough? Are you not forgetting Article 7 and the irrefutable charge which faces the Doctor, that of genocide?
I shall deal with that charge in due course.
Sir, sit down.
Now kindly don't interrupt me again. Doctor, do you have any further evidence in your defense?
No, my lady, but I would point out that much of the Valeyard's so-called evidence was a farrago of distortion. Much of the evidence was not as I remembered.
Do you still maintain the Matrix has been tampered with?
Yes, madam,
yes.
I do. All I do not yet understand is who did it and why.
Your accusation would be laughable if it were not so outrageous. I have summoned the Keeper of the Matrix. Keeper, you have heard the Doctor's allegations. Is it at all possible for the data stored within the Matrix to be tampered with in any way?
Quite impossible, my lady. No one may enter the Matrix without the key of Rassilon.
And by whom may the key be used?
Qualified people for inspection once in a millennium, perhaps, to replace a transductor.
The keys can be copied.
So it is possible.
The key never leaves my possession.
Except when it's in the hands of those qualified people.
This is a ridiculous allegation, my lady. The Doctor is challenging the evidence of the Matrix on the grounds that it has been tampered with.
Doctor, wild accusations of malfeasance do not constitute a defense.
The Matrix can be physically penetrated. Now, much of the evidence you saw was totally at variance with my own memory. Therefore, it has been deliberately distorted.
And who would do such a thing, even if it were possible?
Somebody who wants my head. Such as the Valeyard.
I was going to say, somebody seems to be taking quite delight in putting the Doctor on trial. And what? What?
What's happened to your voice, lad?
I'm not Dibber. Neither am I a lad. What's more, there's nothing wrong with my voice. As a matter of total disinterest, who are you?
Oh, Sabalon Blitz. And you?
Melanie.
Are they all like you here?
I don't know. Should we go and find out?
There is only one way to rebut the evidence of the Matrix, Doctor, and that is to produce witnesses who can support your version of events.
No, I can't.
Then we must accept the Valeyard's evidence.
Any witnesses I might produce are scattered all over the universe and all through time. How can I find them now?
Procrastination.
But they just showed up?
The Doctor's only...
Melanie?
Okay.
What are you doing here?
I was sent, wasn't I? Not my idea, mind.
Same here. What have you been up to?
Be silent. Who sent you?
Well, that's the beak, is it? They all look the same, don't they?
You said you were sent here, Sabalon Glitz. By whom?
By me, madam.
Oh no, now I really am finished.
Oh my goodness.
Just one of my oldest enemies.
I'm known as the Master. And as you see, I speak to you from within the Matrix.
But you haven't the key of Rassilon.
I got a very good copy keeper, just as the Doctor said was possible. I followed the trial with great interest and indeed amusement, but now...
What?
I must intervene for the sake of justice.
Justice? Pay no attention, madam. He has no concept of what justice is.
But I'm not prepared to countenance a rival.
My lady, I must propose a immediate adjournment.
I'm sorry, Valeyard.
Why is the Master helping the
Out
Doctor?
of your court.
Doctor, I've sent you 2 star witnesses. I knew you'd need them.
With due respect, Sagacity, the matter of witnesses is for you to decide. We've seen enough to know that Glitz is an admitted criminal. Any testimony from him must therefore be dubious in the extreme.
But not from me. I'm as truthful, honest, and about as boring as they come.
This court is not for a moment impugning your integrity, young lady.
No.
Criminals have been known to speak the truth, Valeyard, especially when their own interests are not
Why
at
would
stake.
she say
My
that?
point, my lady, whoever he might be, should not be permitted to produce surprise witnesses.
You pretend not to know me, do you? I'm surprised by the shortness of the Valeyard's memory.
Oh.
The Doctor,
If I might intercede...
you have no part in these proceedings, sir.
Of Corporeally, of course not, but I'm present and enjoying myself enormously.
Doctor, please examine your witnesses.
This is real maconite, you know. Worth a few grotsits today, Your Honour. I could make you a fair offer on the job lot. Do you a very good deal.
You were sent here by the master.
Yeah, well, he's a business partner, so to speak. We've had a few nice little tickles.
This court is not interested in your sordid business
Oh,
deals.
great.
When we last met, you expressed interest in a box. What was in that box?
Well, I don't know. Scientific stuff, so he said. Stuff the sleepers had been nicking from the Matrix for years.
The Matrix?
Well, it seems the sleepers had found a way to break into the Matrix, and they were creeping off all this high-tech info
Impossible.
to take.
But they were operating from Earth.
Of course! That was their cover, wasn't it? They knew that the Time Lords eventually would trace the leak.
He's lying, my lady.
I don't think so, Stackyard. It all begins to make very good sense.
That's it, Doc. Now we're getting at the dirt.
Doc. Carry on, Glitz. What happened next?
Well, eventually the Time Lords did suss out the leak, and they used this
Magnetron?
That's it.
Oh, that can only be done by an order in High Council.
Of course, Doctor. To protect their own secrets, they drew the Earth and its constellation billions of miles across space.
Causing the fireball which nearly destroyed the planet.
Of little consequence in the High Council's planning. The robot recovery mission from Andromeda sped past Earth, out into space. Gallifreyan secrets were saved, except that at the first intimation of the coming fireball, the Andromedans were able to set up a survival chamber for the sleepers.
So that's why Earth was renamed Ravolox. That sanctimonious gang of hypocrites were covering their tracks.
Exactly. It takes time, Doctor, but eventually you get there.
They put an ancient cult. All my travellings throughout the universe, I have battled against evil, against power-mad conspirators. I should have stayed here. The oldest civilization, degenerate and rotten to the core.
Speak on it.
Daleks or Tyrants, Cybermen. They're still in the nursery compared to us. 10 million years of absolute power. That's what it takes to be really corrupt.
Take it easy, Doc.
Doctor,
No, don't.
these unseemly outbursts.
Unseemly outbursts? If I hadn't visited Ravolox as I then thought of it, the High Council would have kept this outrage carefully buried as presumably they have for several centuries.
You have an endearing habit of blundering into these things, Doctor, and the High Council took full advantage of your blunder.
Explain that.
They made a deal with the Valeyard, or as I've always known him, the Doctor, to adjust the evidence. In return for which, he was promised the remainder of the Doctor's regeneration.
Well,
Just a minute.
what the?
Did you call him the Doctor?
And why did he say it?
There is some evil
So
in all of us, Doctor.
casually.
The Valeyard is an amalgamation of the darker sides of your nature, somewhere between your 12th and final incarnation.
Okay.
And I may say you do not improve with age.
This revelation should halt this trial immediately. Surely even Gallifreyan law must acknowledge that
I
the
need a
same
minute.
person cannot be both prosecutor and defendant.
The single purpose of this trial is to determine the defender's guilt or otherwise. Anything else is for the moment irrelevant.
What?
Doctor!
Oh! I was taken off! What? Okay. I need several minutes to process this.
Time! The seventh door. He must have had a key.
What?
The seventh entrance to the Matrix.
Bro, you suck at your
She
job.
must be brought back.
Don't go, Doctor!
I must, perhaps nothing in my life has ever been so important.
Oh, here we go again.
Come, let us return to the trial room.
Why? There's nobody to try anymore.
Come along, both of you.
Lovely.
Oh, what an unpleasant journey.
Okay. I'm still taking it all in. They just really hit you with a lot of info. Right off the bat.
Blitz? Oh, I can't believe you're in there.
That was so rude. That was so rude.
I don't know whether what just real or an illusion?
Welcome to the Matrix.
Water.
Just a fun time.
We're not in the real world any longer, Sablon Glitz. Whatever attacked me was in that barrel.
Dad,
In my mind.
we just stepped through a door, that's all.
Into the Matrix, where the only logic is that there isn't any logic.
Yeah, my grip on reality is not too good at the best of times. Here, this is for you. Now, if you don't mind
Sure.
telling me...
It's from the master.
I know, I've just given it to you. He said it would be useful.
It tells me where the Valeyard has his base.
The Fantasy Factory, proprietor J.J. Chambers.
So that's where he got to.
Oh my
So
goodness.
why is the master helping me?
Yeah,
I
that is
want to
also
be
my
by
question.
darker side. I've done my bit.
You're not Missy
I'm
yet.
gonna say no. What's going on?
Holy fuckballs! What?
For a lie to work, madam, it must be shrouded in truth.
Sure.
Therefore, most of what you saw was true.
Then the young woman, the one who died, was that true?
Ah, the delightful Miss Purple Gilliam Brown. That was clever of the Valeyard, exploiting the affection the doctor had for her. But then, of course, the Valeyard would know precisely how the doctor felt.
Wait.
Then she lives.
She's a queen, set up on high by that warmongering fool Carlos.
I'm pleased.
Gentlemen, will
Wait.
keep the doctor.
Is there anything we can do to help?
You'll catch cold lying there.
You're a hard man, Doctor.
Oh,
Could have
what?
been killed. Life preserver.
Oh my goodness. I can't take this.
Look, Doctor, I'm a small-time crook with small-time ambitions, one of which is to stay alive. I'm sorry, Doctor. I wish you every good luck, but I'm on my way. I've done my bit.
If you leave and I die, what future do you think you'll have? The Valeyard will be forced to seek you out and kill you.
All right. I'll help you.
Yeah, I guess.
I have never before had to conclude a case in both the absence of the accused and the prosecutor.
One and the same person, madam.
So you said, but can you prove that?
I know them both. But I suggest you question the High Council. They set up this travesty of a trial, making a scapegoat of the doctor to conceal their own involvement.
This is so
Is there
crazy.
any reason? What is your interest in this matter? Not, I think, concern for the doctor.
Oh, indeed not. The doctor's well matched against himself. One must destroy the other.
How utterly evil!
Thank you. You got a shade once on them.
You're despicable!
Am I to take it that some base desire for revenge is your motive for interfering?
There's nothing purer and more unsullied, madam, than the desire for revenge. I've thrown a pebble into the water, perhaps killing two birds with one stone, and causing ripples that'll rock the High Council to its foundations.
Wow. Master's just over there vibing.
What could a renegade wish for?
Okay.
Yes?
We'd like to see the proprietor, please.
Do you have an appointment, sir? Mr. Chambers only sees people by appointment. Most particular about appointments is our Mr. Chambers.
I am known as the Doctor. And this is Mr. Sablon Glitz.
If this Valeyard wants you dead, he's got a funny way of going about it.
I've told you, it's called humiliation. Could you hurry up, please? We haven't got all day.
There are procedures to follow, sir. Even when I've found your names, there are many forms to be inscribed before you may move on to the next stage of processing. I'm sure that even you will understand that such things cannot be rushed, sir.
I've always been a bit of an iconoclast by nature.
You can't go in there, not without an appointment! Ah, Doctor.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is fun. Yeah.
Well, at least you're expecting us.
We all are.
Your look-alike out there wasn't.
He is the exception. The very junior Mr. Popplewick isn't permitted to expect anyone.
Uh-huh.
You wish to see the proprietor. Now, the correct procedure is to make an appointment.
Well, you knew we were coming. Why didn't you give him the nod?
And upset the procedure? The junior Mr. Popplewick has his pride too.
So I don't understand any of this. Here we are waiting to duck a terminal.
I mean,
knuckle
kinda
sandwich.
same.
All this scream's going on about is whether we got an appointment or not.
To me, the procedure is sacrosanct. My work is a celebration of all that is perfect.
Okay.
My speed, perfection.
Because your employer wants me dead.
You seem to have found the one little weakness in our procedures.
Oh, well, there we go.
The corridors in this factory are very long and dark. Should you unexpectedly die, our blessed proprietor, Mr. J.J. Chambers, insists he inherits your remaining lives.
Obviously, the Valeyard doesn't trust the High Council to honour their side of the bargain.
Well, who would?
I'll sign my remaining lives away to Mr. J.J. Chambers.
This is madness.
Not if it precipitates my meeting with the Valeyard. This is a very odd waiting room. Where are the hopelessly out-of-date magazines?
Well, at least there's better lighting here.
What have you done with him?
Look to your own predicament, Doctor.
Oh,
This is an illusion. I deny it.
Not this time.
oh goodness. Oh my. Oh no. Oh no. Woo! I love the hands over on the side, just flailing about. Okay. Okay. The way I need a few minutes to process what I just watched, which I'm not gonna take. I'm gonna keep it going. But my golly gee, that was a lot. That was a lot for one part. Okay, let's just keep it moving.
Hang on!
Oh.
Where are I?
What a way to go. All in all, he wasn't a bad old codger. Nobody's perfect.
And that's the clue. Nobody is. Not even the Valeyard.
Great cosmic protector of grafters and dissemblers, save me! Save me! A voice from the grave!
A brave voice.
But I saw your ankle armor. I don't get it.
Oh, do concentrate, Glitz. How often must I tell you? We're not dealing with reality.
Why waste your breath on that simple-minded oaf? You cannot speak as though reality is a one-dimensional concept.
This scene is wild.
I really must curb these urges. I've no wish to be contaminated by your whims and idiosyncrasies.
Quite so. So what I don't comprehend...
He's over here, Doc. Slippery customer, your other persona.
What I don't comprehend is why you want me dead. No. Now let me rephrase that. It would satisfy my curiosity to know why you should go to such extraordinary lengths to kill me.
How else can I obtain my freedom? Operate as a complete entity, unfettered by your side of my existence.
He really likes bouncing
Only by
about.
ridding your constant crusading, your
Idiotic honesty?
oath, microbe.
Pardon me for trying to help. I'm neutral in this setup, you know.
Only by releasing myself from the misguided maxims that you nurture can I be free. With you destroyed,
This
and no longer
is...
able to constrain me, and with unlimited access to the Matrix, there will be nothing beyond my reach.
The Valeyard's resentment for the Doctor
Where are you off to now?
is really something to contemplate.
Illusions! It's the shadow, not the substance.
Okay.
But if you can stay here and build sandcastles, I'm sure if you think hard enough, you can conjure up a bucket and spade.
Say something.
Backpedal! Another illusion? Let's go.
See this fog?
We can't just sit here and do nothing. We've got to help him.
The Doctor chose to enter the Matrix. We are not empowered to interfere.
You are applying logical thought to a situation that recognizes no logic.
Give me the key to the Matrix. I'm going in there.
Oh no! Oh no, he tripped her. But she had cute boots. So, that's a win.
Welcome, Doctor.
Well, I never thought
All right.
I'd welcome the sight of you.
It will not happen again.
What puzzles me is why it's happening now.
Let's get into
It's
it.
quite simple. I want the Valeyard eliminated, and you're the most likely candidate to achieve that.
Hang on. You told me this flashy, fair-haired personage was the one you wanted to croak.
With the Doctor as my enemy, I always have the advantage. But the Valeyard, the distillation of all that's evil in you, untainted by virtue. The
Oh.
composite of your every dark thought is a different proposition.
Oh.
Additionally, he's infuriated me by threatening to deny me the pleasure of personally bringing about your destruction. And so he must pay the price.
Okay. Sure.
Would I be wrong in thinking that the Doctor will soon be needing a Maconite overcoat?
Nothing so cruel. He's merely being reduced to a catatonic state. The violent assault on his senses will trip a defensive mechanism, and his
Will
brain
it?
will switch off
He'll become a zombie.
temporarily. Long enough for my purposes.
This story is a lot to take in. Or 2 episodes. Okay.
This should prove an irresistible bait for the Valeyard.
You Time Lords take the cake. Talk about devious. Compared to you lot, I'm transparent as crystal. Poor old Doc.
Stop slobbering.
Is he faking? I mean, maybe not. I think the possibility is there. Oh!
You really are a second-rate adversary.
Ooh!
Imagine I'd been lured by such a transparent ploy.
Holy! Holy! Woo!
This could all be an illusion.
Stay here and find out.
Oh no. Oh no! Oh.
Doctor? Where are you, Doctor? Doctor!
That's not her. That's not her.
Mel?
It's not Mel.
Doctor, is that you?
Yes. Yes, of course it's me. Where are you?
This way. Quickly.
I swear,
What are you doing in the Matrix?
Forget the questions.
if that's the Valeyard
It's late.
in a Mel wig, I'm gonna lose it.
That's the 7th door. You're taking me back to the trial room.
Doctor, trust me. Don't you see that until you've cleared your name, you're no better than the Valeyard is? A renegade on the run.
Quite the pragmatist, aren't you? Let's get it over with.
This is all still the Matrix. And I think the Doctor knows it.
Doctor, you owe the court an apology.
Well, if I do, then it is unreservedly offered, madam.
The charge of genocide is based on your own evidence.
And refuted by the Doctor.
Seems you have a champion in this young woman.
I was there, remember?
Would you accept her as an impartial witness?
I would trust Mel with my life.
Aw,
Good.
be sweet if it was real.
Is that a true record of what occurred?
What shall I say, Doctor?
Just tell the truth.
Yes, but I don't want her to twist it like the Valeyard did.
The truth can't harm me.
That's what happened.
Is it your contention that the Doctor was solely responsible for devising the scheme we are presently reviewing on the Matrix?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, without the Doctor, we'd have all ended up on the Vervoid's revolting compost heap.
A unique solution.
Out of this world.
An appropriate expression, wouldn't you say, my lords?
Appropriate. Something's going wrong here. I can sense it.
The Doctor already
Truth
knows.
couldn't harm you. Yet I have a feeling I'm attending a lynching party. Tell them you had no choice, Doctor.
There's always a choice.
You stand accused of genocide. The evidence is incontrovertible. The verdict is guilty. Your life is therefore forfeit. Take him from this court.
Unless we are prepared to sacrifice our lives for the good of all, then evil and anarchy will spread like the plague. Madam, I accept your verdict.
He knows what's up. Yeah, we know. We know.
Switch it off. Switch it off. The doctor's been tricked into believing that that was the real trial room. The Valeyard's illusion has deliberately taken advantage of the doctor's romantic nature. He's convinced he must sacrifice himself, and you're content to let him.
No.
We cannot interfere.
Well, I can.
Oh! Oh! She said trip this, bitch. Trip this, bitch. Oh, that's my girl. Okay. The doctor's pose right there. It's very, he's serving. Look at him!
Glitz. Savile Glitz.
Diva.
It is a far, far better rest that I go to than I have ever known.
Never mind the Sydney Carton heroics. You're not signing on as a martyr yet.
Go away, Mel, go away.
He knows what's
The
up.
trial was an illusion.
Oh!
Ruined everything!
Ruined? I just saved your neck.
All you've done is keep me from a confrontation with the Valeyard.
But you were on your way
To a death chamber as a result of a bogus trial of my noble act of self-sacrifice.
You knew it was an illusion. How come?
Because of you, Mel. You testified you'd heard me deny the charge of genocide, but you weren't even there. You hadn't been inside the courtroom at that time. And with your extraordinary ability of total recall, you
I didn't even.
never make
Okay.
any mistake.
Okay, I'm not deaf.
Like all megalomaniacs, he is consumed with his own vanity. Naturally inflame his bloated ego. Come on. Find Mr. J.J. Chambers.
I want you to rejoin the doctor and lead him to the Valeyard.
I'm just going to stay here till I can get back to my own kind and some honest thieving.
Splendid, splendid. Listen to me. Are you listening, Savile Glitz?
Not really. I was just wondering how many Grotses this little bauble costed.
Perhaps this will appeal to your crushed soul.
Truly a wondrous sight.
Yours if you follow my orders.
Oh, no.
Outside the maze. Well, it seems to me we should try and draw the Valeyard out to where the odds would be more even.
And how do we do that?
Use you as bait.
Assuming that it's me he's after.
Oh, come on. And just look at the elaborate lengths he's gone to already.
Yes, they were elaborate, weren't they? Perhaps too elaborate.
There are times in our relationship when I feel an interpreter wouldn't come amiss.
Don't go through that door.
She does have an iconic scream. Very high-pitched.
The Matrix memory bank. I thought this was destroyed on Ravenox.
That was a duplicate. This is the master tape.
I'd give my soul for this.
You would. Would you indeed?
You'd like to negotiate, sir?
Look at this, Mel.
A list of names.
Of Time Lords attending my trial. Every member of the Ultimate Court of Appeal, the supreme guardians of Gallifreyan law.
Why are they all crossed through?
You notice something else?
No.
The handwriting.
It's yours.
I really must protest at this unseemly behavior. You are contravening all known procedure.
Oh, shit.
Mr. Chambers is across the courtyard, sir.
If he isn't, there'll be one bureaucrat less in the Matrix.
You won't be needing this, Mr. Bubblewick.
Very astute of you, Doc. You should live a long time.
I already have. Over 900 years. I am beginning to realize that I have misjudged Mr. J.J. Chambers.
Not for the first time. In fact, how you've managed to survive 900 odd years beats me.
We had an agreement. I've done my bit. I've delivered the doctor. The Matrix memory tapes first.
Oh, very well.
Tell the doctor I didn't sell him down the Milky Way for nothing.
I'm sure that will be a consolation to him in his final moments.
Oh!
Very astute.
Oh, damn.
But this is loaded.
I thought we trusted each other. I was on my way to see you.
My trust of you is in equal proportion to your trust of me. As hard as it's over
So,
there.
not much.
Where's Blitz?
I don't know. Decided to stay outside on guard, perhaps, Mr. Popplewick?
Yes. I perceive Mr. Chambers is not here. I shall go and find him for you, sir.
Yes. Yes, you do that, Mr. Popplewick.
If I knew what you were looking for, maybe I could help.
I'm awfully sorry, sir. I don't seem to be able to locate Mr. Chambers.
Yes. Well, I rather thought... Who's that?
Oh!
Help me! Unhand me! Stop! This is preposterous! Mr. Chambers will demand an explanation for this iniquitous, this wicked behaviour.
Well, let's ask him. Shall we?
Shut up. Shut up! How very Mission Impossible.
How did you know?
The performance was too grotesque to be real. I have never been able to resist a touch of the Grand Guignol. Have we?
You'll soon have ample scope to indulge in melodrama.
Really?
A megabyte modem.
A maser?
A maser?
An acronym for microwave amplification and stimulated emission of radiation.
But what does it do?
Yes, Doctor. Enlighten us. Disseminate the news.
A particle disseminator?
Even subatomic particles, gravitons, quarks, tau mesons, all completely disseminated.
My writing. Our writing. A hit list.
These Time Lords, or Supreme Guardians of the Law, as you called them, are all in the trial room. And we're in the Matrix.
And he's gonna take him out?
Screen! Mel, get back to the trial room, tell them to disconnect the Matrix screen and evacuate the port.
But I can't even...
Do it!
The one thing we do know is that she can probably run pretty quick.
An urgent message.
She keeps fit.
High Council has been deposed. Insurrectionists are running amok on Gallifrey.
Somewhere the Valeyard and the Doctor are engaged in their squalid duel. With luck they'll kill each other, but that is a mere coincidental occurrence. What I have to impart is of vital importance to all of you. Now that Gallifrey is collapsing into chaos, none of you will be needed. Your office will be abolished. Only I can impose order. I have control of the Matrix.
Disregard
my... Now that you've purged that from your system, can we get on? Load the cassette.
You really are the archetypal Philistine.
Is it a...
Moments such as this should be savored.
Is it a dud?
What's happening?
More to fire.
There's nothing you can do to prevent the catharsis of spurious morality.
If you could compile this monstrosity, it follows that I should be able to unravel it.
There.
Disconnect the Matrix. Get out of here quickly. Your lives depend on it.
Oh, that one guard said bye. Oh, wow.
Eureka!
What have you done?
Induce an antiphase signal into the telemetry unit. The whole system should self-destruct.
Triggered a ray phase shift. There'll be a massive feedback into here.
No!
Oh my. Oh my.
It's too late.
Oh no, the scribbles are gonna get you. Did they get him? Did they get him? Oh my word.
Now, Let me see, where were we? About to be sentenced, I believe.
All charges against you are dismissed, Doctor. We owe you an immense debt of gratitude.
Probably an
By
apology.
telling you
but...
that the young woman, Miss Gillian Brown, is alive and well and living as a warrior queen with King Yrcanos.
Okay, I think I have issues. Okay.
Now then, once law and order have been restored, a new High Council will need to be elected. Can I persuade you to stand for Lord President again?
I have a better idea.
He's
No.
going to suggest you stand.
Indeed I am. Oh, you could do me one small favour if you would.
Simply name it.
When the Matrix is restored, you can do what you like with the Master, but exercise leniency with Sabalon Glitz. It's not beyond redemption.
Racing glass of carrot juice.
Carrot juice?
And then we'll get you back on the exercise.
No!
You know, I think I was rash in turning down that offer of the presidency. Carrot juice?
Carrot juice.
Carrot juice, carrot juice, carrot juice.
Prepare the Matrix Keeper. Requisition anything you need.
My lady.
What? What the? What? Okay. Well, my lovelies, this is going to be quite an interesting post-episode thoughts because I mean it. I'm still processing all of that. You know, I thought that I was going to be getting some type of explanations with these two episodes, and I certainly got that. I got it in spades. Okay. All right. Wow. There is just so much to dive into. And, you know, I really thought I was going to start these post-episode thoughts with kind of a verdict on how much I enjoyed this season as an overarching plot. It's kind of interesting because I've said this so many times before, especially, you know, with classic Who stories that have a ton of parts, and there's so many stories that I feel like really the success or failure of it or whatever really kind of is sort of focused on the resolution, that final part. You know, how are they going to tie it all together? And I kind of felt that way going into these two episodes. But truly, I am just... That was a lot. That was a lot to take in. First of all, the Master showing up. Well, first of all, we got Glitz and Mel showing up, the Master showing up, and just, you know, which you should never really be all that surprised. But then just the casual drop of, and you know, the Doctor. Like, what? What now? What in the world? And then it's just, I think it's so fascinating, and this is really going to stick with me, I feel like, but it's so fascinating. You know, the Valeyard is the sort of manifestation of all of the Doctor's darkest parts of himself, that he really wants to be rid of morality and probably like compassion and all of that stuff. It's probably a little more interesting to rewatch those courtroom scenes with all of that in mind, that resentment, that anger that he has for the Doctor's tendency to try to always do the right thing, and almost kind of like picking apart those, you know, sometimes terrible consequences for, you know, even though the Doctor does try to do the right thing. But, I mean, it is true that his companions are in danger a lot, or that sometimes he might have to resort to a decision that is, of two choices where none are really great options in regards to, the vervoids and all of, wow. I'm not, like, I'm truly, just kind of blown away. And you know what I did think? Especially the first kind of scene in this second episode, something is like clicking or making a weird noise. And I don't know exactly where it is coming from, but I apologize if the camera's picking that up. Okay, it's kind of distracting me right now. But when I was watching the first scene in this second episode, I genuinely was like, this. Could you imagine with the doctor, his like feet out flailing and and then the Valeyard shows up and he's just bouncing around and it's all just like just pure buffoonery. And I was like, could you imagine if somebody has never watched Doctor Who before, and I don't know why they would start with these two episodes, but if they did in fact start with these two episodes, they would be like, what on earth? Or not on earth, but you know what I mean? It was just so, it was a lot. It was a lot. I did love seeing Glitz again. I love Mel. I really do. I really like her spirit. She's got a very, positive demeanor kind of within her character that I really, really like. But I gotta say, all right, I don't think any of you will be surprised by this. Listen, I love that Perry didn't die. That's great. I'm so happy about that. However, I don't like the resolution of Perry's story. I've already made this statement, and I'm not saying that it never works. Okay? Let me be clear. I'm not anti, women kind of choosing love over adventures or whatever. And I know that that's not what happened with Perry. I know that but let me get this out. I have stated before that sometimes the kind of, it seems like sometimes it's a little shoehorned in, the female companions, just all of a sudden, leaving for a guy that they just met, right? I'm not saying it never works, but sometimes it feels very out of nowhere and sometimes out of character for the women. Now that's not entirely what happened here, but it's the idea that, well, she didn't die, she is now queen. If I heard it right, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, she's now queen with a guy that, obviously they had a pretty funny back and forth, but she was not at all into. And I'm sure, the options were limited once she was kind of left in this whole situation. But I guess my point is, I don't love the idea that, it's kind of presented as and she's fine. She's fine. She's great, She's, she gave no indication that's the fate that she wanted. And not that everybody gets the fate that they want, but you get what I'm saying, right? That didn't fill me with joy, finding that out. Happy that she's not dead. Great. Thumbs up for that. But I don't know. I don't know about all that. Okay. I just wanted to say, and just, possibly still feeling abandoned by the doctor. I'm going to really need to mull a lot of this over. My brain's still doing a bit of processing over here. And wow. I don't know. I mean, just this was quite an interesting 2 episodes to wrap everything up. And I do love a season-long arc, and this was, I will say, it kept me very interested. I was hoping for answers in these 2 episodes, and I surely did get them. I have to say, a lot of the little kind of like mannerisms and the way that Colin carried himself in this story, I really enjoyed. And I think he's got a certain demeanor as the Doctor, a certain pizzazz as the Doctor that I do actually really, really enjoy. So, wow, what a reaction. I really wanted to take a moment in between, and that like never happens. I'm normally like, all right, let's move on to the next one. Like when I'm watching these kind of back-to-back Classic Who episodes, but I like really felt the need to take a moment in the middle, take a break, have a shot of tequila, continue on, you know what I mean? Wow. Okay. If you would like to support me on Patreon or subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. But if not, I'm just happy that you are here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.